Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and we are back. We are at day two. I'm doing two in a row. We're getting back to that normal schedule. Now, I did have on the last video, some said that they could hear me really well. Others said that they had to turn the volume really far up. As far as me, when I replayed it on my stuff, either here at home or at work, I sounded okay. So again, let me know if I'm having audio issues, if I need to readjust. Maybe like this one, I'm turning the microphone a little bit more, talking a little bit closer to it. So let me know if I need to do something because obviously hearing me is a pretty important part. Otherwise, you're just going to see me waving around and doing things, and you're probably not going to get the message across. So, but anyway, let's jump into this one. So we are at 2 April 2024 and we are going to do our daily headlines report. And now this one is going to be a little bit short for two reasons. One is, thank God there wasn't terribly a bunch of things in the news, which is a good thing. I like the days where it's coming on and saying one or two things and getting off because I don't like bad news. I'd really like to actually come on and do happy news and good news and fun things, but we've got to stay as aware as possible. And speaking of aware, we need to be weather aware. There is probably a good majority of you that know and probably are affected by the major storms that are moving across the United States. There was quite a bit last night. Now I am in the area for today, so I'm trying to get this video made quickly so that way I can try and get it out before we lose internet power or anything along those lines. So we'll see how this goes. Now, again, uh, for anybody who doesn't know, I will continue to put out for Ryan Hall. If you don't know who that is, please go check him out here on YouTube. That is Ryan Hall Y'all, which is his channel name. I think when I was telling somebody about it the other day, I typed in RY and the whole channel popped up. So he's got a huge, huge following and for a very good reason. Does really, really good work and does amazing job of helping others out. As well as I really love his saying, don't be scared, be prepared. He almost sounds kind of like one of us crazy preppers, right? So I will always, promote him and all that. Maybe one day we can get him on the channel so we can talk about, weather awareness and things that we can do. But for now, let's go ahead and jump. I got my notes here. So just a couple quick things. So we covered yesterday that Israel decided that it was going to be a good idea to strike the Iranian embassy in Syria. Now, the fun thing is now here comes the blame game. Okay, so we're 24 hours away from the initial event. Now, technically, Israel has not actually admitted that they did it. Okay, it's pretty common that pretty much every single person has come out and said that it's Israel that did it. Okay, and Israel hasn't formally said that they haven't done it. Okay, so they haven't denied it, but again, they haven't officially claimed that they did it. Even to the point, because I saw somebody today, which is the reason why I bring this up, is because people are saying, well, Israel hasn't actually, took responsibility for the attack. Well, here's the thing: the United States has already come out and did their. We had no formal knowledge or anything that Israel was going to do this. Okay, so we already threw them under the bus. Now, the big thing is that right after this, what we just said, we were really quick to come out and throw Israel under the bus and say, "Hey, we had no knowledge. We didn't know anything about this. Whatever they did by themselves." Iran immediately followed that up and said, "Listen, it doesn't matter if the U.S. had, preconceived knowledge, if they were complicit or involved in any way. They're still in a roundabout, responsible for this. Okay, whether they had knowledge, they were funding, they were doing things. So Iran's not happy with the United States. They're still basically pointing the finger and saying, "Hey, you're accountable. It doesn't matter how much involved or anything." They're still angry at the United States, which I kind of can see why. Whether we not we did, they probably have their own reasons. Now, the U.S. decides that they were going to kind of fire back. And now we have changed our tone. And instead of saying, hey, we're innocent here, we didn't know anything, the U.S. has taken a roundabout way and basically said, actually, it's Iran's fault. Yeah, yeah, it's your fault that your embassy was attacked because we've been warning you to stay out of this conflict. And you're going in there and you're providing, all these people that Israel is fighting with money and weapons and aid and all sorts of things. So we told you, we warned you, you stay out of this or bad things is going to happen to you. So it's a really odd way to be defensive about all this, but uh, that's an official statement by one of the people from the White House, which is kind of an odd thing. Now, the fun part about all this is that Axios has come out with a report stating that the White House did indeed have knowledge and that they were notified. Now, they're in the report, they're saying that they were notified minutes before the strike happened. And this notification was directly from Israel, and so they also put in there as kind of like a last line that this was Israel giving them a heads up, not really a request or permission for a green light. They were just saying, hey, we're getting ready to do this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sort of a thing. Now, that's just an Axios report. Is that really what happened? I don't know. None of us really is going to probably know. But it's really odd. Everything about this is just really kind of odd. You've got this big thing that kind of happened. It's a pretty massive event. I think a lot of people aren't really giving it its justification or its dues on how big of a deal that this really is, and that now, you're 24 hours after the fact, and what are we doing? Everybody's playing the blame game. It's you. Oh, it's you. Okay, well, actually, it's not me. It's that guy, and it's just like watching children go through all this. We're talking about a potential for a World War III, and we're doing childish blame games and pointing fingers and all that. So I just find it odd. Okay, but that again, that's my take. Now. I saw an article today that I kind of was able to somewhat skim over, and it was entitled, Is Belarus Readying for War? Now, the whole premise of this report was based on a recent interview that Lukashenko did where he did the famous quote, if you want peace, you prepare for war. Now, he did, I give him his credit, say, I didn't come up with that line. That line's already there, but it's a perfect line. And here's the thing. I agree with him. If you want peace, you prepare for war. It's the same thing with prepping, and it's the whole reason. If you want to survive, you prepare for the bad things. If you want to make it through, you prepare for it. Okay, it's just a roundabout way of saying any of that. If you want to be able to get from point A to B, you prepare for a flat tire. Prepare for this or that to happen. And so it's that whole thing, just what the statement says. If you are ready for conflict, if you're ready for war, then you will likely have peace. Usually a person doesn't come at you to start a conflict if you're already, really well trained, really armed up, really, ready for a conflict at a moment's notice. Usually it's that thing where you pick on a weaker person. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer in that statement. Now, moving on, and I apologize. I'm going to go all over the place because I'm, again, in a hurry for all this. But um, there is, and I hate doing this. I like to usually sit back and wait and do, confirmation and find different things. But this is coming out from three different sources that I go through that are usually pretty right. So, as a disclaimer, I cannot prove this, but it looks pretty evident as of right now that there's a thing of being true to this. But reports are coming out there is a U.S. ship that has been struck by Iranian missiles off the coast of Bahrain. So, is this the start of retaliation? Is it Iranians that shot? Is it uh, they were reporting Iranian missiles? So did Iran give missiles to somebody to do something? Is it Houthis? Is it some other whatever? Who knows? This whole thing may not have happened. The timing of this is a little off. I saw a bunch of different things because right before coming on, everything was starting to really just go wild with my notifications that Crimea was starting to get hit and a bunch of these other things that were reporting explosions and different other things happening. And I hesitated on coming on, going, you know what, I need to wait. But I knew that if I waited, that who knows if I would be able to get a video out and all that. So it looks like it's going to be kind of a long night for me, not only news-wise, but weather-wise and whatnot. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Now, again, if nothing goes too bad weather-wise and I still have power and internet, the news really goes wild, then there might be a second video. So stay tuned for that. Now, the interesting thing is, and this kind of went mainstream, is that the White House is not really rumored, but there's quite a bit of whispers that the White House is set to approve an $18 billion deal. And what this is going to be is that they're going to sell somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50 F-15 fighter jets to Israel. Now, what is that? Okay, this hasn't been completely inked. It's not a set in stone sort of a thing. But is this a oh look, we did a strike onto Iran, and look at us, we're going to go and buy all this stuff. We're gearing up, so don't attack us because we're doing all this. Is this a flex move to where they're not actually, this deal is not going to go through, or is it actually, oh, we just did something and we need to buff up, because we're getting ready to get hit. So we will have to wait and see with this. Now, this does look like it's an official, uh, talked about sort of a deal, just waiting for the approval. Now, usually these things take a lot of time, so it's going to be very, very interesting if this deal gets signed and approved, how quickly those fighter jets make it over there. Usually a lot of this takes months, if not longer. And so if this gets signed and they get it in, week, couple of weeks, then I would be a little bit more concerned. So just something to keep your eye on. Now, I want to give a little bit of a side note really quick. Now, with all this talk that we just went through, Iran has already vowed that they're going to retaliate. Now, the big thing for me is that if there's going to be a major retaliation event, then my guess is going to either be tonight. And the reason why I'm guessing tonight is because that today is the 23rd day or night, if you will, of Ramadan, which is going to be considered kind of a holy night for the Shia. Okay, so there's some stuff kind of behind that. Now, if it's not going to be tonight, my guess is that it's going to be either the night or the following night after the funeral of the general that was taken out. So they'll have the funeral during the day, and then they'll either attack that night or the following night. That's guesses, okay? That's not insider information. I don't know anything. That's just me guessing, okay? So we'll kick back and wait. Now, again, another side note, probably the same thing it's going to be for Monday for the solar event that's going to happen. So everybody is well aware of the solar eclipse that's going to happen on the 8th. Okay, they've blown this all up, probably out of proportion. There's a huge hysteria. There's just a lot of hype and different things about this. Um, I'm still gathering a bunch of things to try and get a video out in time on this, but my guess on this is that you have two things. Either one, nothing is going to happen, or two, something is going to happen during it, or kind of like what we just said with the Iranian thing, it'll be a few days after. So it's going to happen, the event's going to happen on Monday. It'll be something like Thursday, maybe the weekend, after there's a couple of days of, everybody had their guard up, all this stuff, something's going to happen. All these people is going to be pushing videos out and things like that. It'll be a couple of days after, and then you'll have some sort of black swan, black flag event, whatever you want to call it, after all the I told you so's and after everybody let their guard down. Okay. So that's again me guessing. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have anything along those lines. Trust me, if I had a crystal ball, I would have won the lottery 50 times over by now. So uh take what I said for a grain of salt. I'm just looking at things and taking an educated guess. Everything that I just guessed on right there, none of it has come true. Okay. Just talking out and formulating my hypothesis of what could happen and how, my thought process on how I got there and why and things like that. So that's what I've got for you today. I know it's a little bit shorter than normal of the video, but I definitely had to get something out. So I am going to sign off. I'm going to go eat dinner while this uploads to the YouTubes. And then I'm going to be watching probably Ryan Hall Y'all and watching his forecast as he follows along all these major storms and everything. So that's what I will be. If you guys tune in, he usually got thousands of people, but pop into over there and tell them that Rural Report sent you and all that. Try and get the name out there, so maybe we can pop him over on the show. Maybe he'll feel a little bit of sympathy or something for us if we send them a few people. So but anyway, again, if you guys made it to this far in the video, guess what? You rock. I appreciate you so much. Again, let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Put them down in the comment section below. Let me know if my audio is working really well. Maybe I need to find a lift microphone. I don't know. But that's what I've got for you guys today. So I hope that you guys have a very blessed and safe night with all the weather things that's going on. And with that, I want to remind you guys to, above everything else, remember to remain united as we're all prepping in this together.